doom or salvation. Chapter 5. Same place, different time. It was August 31st, 1984, when Faith regained her senses. Overwatchers dull the five senses of travellers during a time travel because with all their senses active during the journey, they could go mad. So Faith had no recollection of what happened since she closed her eyes on the hospital bed. It was a Friday night. Cœur de Cher, the capital city of Cher, could be recognised in any century thanks to the tall palm trees that shaded almost every street in the city. The moonlit sky stretched over the city like a blanket, and there was almost no doubt every living organism was asleep. They were standing in front of what Faith recognised as her school, except a huge part of the school building was missing. It was smaller, and the screen that displayed important updates and news at the entrance was missing. In place of that was a big wooden board-like structure with papers and pushpins. What year is it? Did we have to come so late? Faith inquired after taking in the scenery. It is Friday, August 31st, 1984. I brought you back 18 years before your birth. Your death date will be August 31st, 2002. That is a day before your birth. Since you cannot exist in a time your earlier self was alive, you can only live till a day before your birth. Wow, don't you think telling me the exact day I will die is a little cruel? Damn, I just died. Give me a break. Faith was a little more sensitive than usual. You also asked why we came late. I brought you here late so that on your last day you get to see the sunrise and the sun set. It is always very hard adapting to a new time period, so I will always be around to guide you. I suggest you get that lighter we talked about. The reason we landed in the school is that the overseeing world has a rule that the place of arrival of a traveller should be the same place where the first interaction with the Overwatcher occurred. Even though you were passed out, this is where we met. You have a whole 18 years to live. Do not be quick to find your parents. Just enjoy life. But wait, where would I live if I don't have a family? Faith asked in panic. I will take you to one of our dormitories. There are usually dorms for travellers. In Cher, there are 5 dorms. I will take you to the Huckleberry dorm up that street. Guy pointed to a place too vaguely for Faith to recognise in the night light. They got to the dorm, and Madame Eunice was up waiting for them. Madame Eunice also worked for the overseeing world of the Zelia planet. She was the mother of the Huckleberry dorm. She was short and stout. Her face was round, and her double chin had some stubble on it. The large, dark pimple under her left eye was one hard to ignore. Why so late? It is always like this when you bring someone new. Your take on seeing the sun rise and set on the last day is so unnecessary. Madame Eunice did not even spare Faith a glance. She walked inside, and Guy nudged Faith to follow. Realising Guy was not following them, Faith turned and stammered in an attempt to ask why. If you're not coming in, you're spending the night outside, Madame Eunice said, as she held the door open. Faith rushed in, not knowing when she would see him again. She was very disappointed to not get a proper goodbye. Madame Eunice took the new traveller to a room. Get some sleep. I will brief you tomorrow. The door closed, and it was pitch black in the room. Faith was careful to not move around so as to not bump into anything, because from the little she saw while the door was still open, the room was packed with bunk beds. She felt herself briefly for a smartphone to use the flashlight function. She suddenly remembered what year she was in, and for a brief moment regretted not choosing to go to the future. As she slowly tried to take a step with her hands out to detect any obstacles, she was blinded by a strong light. She raised her head to see a human figure on a top bunk pointing a flashlight at her. "Do you realize you are blinding me right now?" Faith asked, in no way hiding her annoyance. "Oops, sorry." Peter apologized and changed the angle of the flashlight. "New girl, what year are you from?" A voice from the corner of the room asked. "I am from 2020, but I was born in 2002. Faith's response was met with a flood of questions from all corners of the room. "Doesn't sound like anyone is sleeping in room 5. Madam Eunice's voice bolted from the hallway. The room fell silent. "Hey, new girl, the bed below me is empty. You can sleep here. If you want to go to the washroom, once you step outside the room, it is on the left down the hall. I am sure you will easily find it. There is a huge sign. We will talk tomorrow," Peter whispered and shut off the flashlight.